the kind of the inspiration behind Ravers?
Oh, Ravers, well, there's multiple inspirations. Basically, my writer Luke, he had a short film idea a while back about poppers that basically went bad at a festival and that kind of thing. So that's where it sort of started. But the threat wasn't quite right because all you had to do is not take the poppers and then it was done, you know. But the germ of the idea of having people take something that makes them go mad and then them being a threat to other people was a really good idea. And so as a DJ, having DJed many illegal parties in the past, legal ones too, not just illegal, but as a DJ doing it for many years, the opportunity to set a movie at a rave with a bunch of ravers that go bonkers and a couple of people being stuck inside with them was just such a great opportunity. I was just very eager to do it, and that was 5 years ago when we started this, you know.
Oh my God, what an achievement.
Yeah,
and
so happy to get it done, because it's you never know how things develop, and so, but it was always a good idea, and we've been trying really hard to get it off the ground, but we managed, and here we are.
And you're here at Frightfest, a great way to...
This is, seriously, the moment I found out that we're in, because we tried really hard, you know, and the Frightfest guys came to set, and because a bunch of the people from that are Frightfest friends, you know, were working on our film, and so it was just really cool that they came down and had a look, but of course we didn't know if we'd get in, you know, so we're working towards trying to get into the festival, but until we knew, you know, we just had to go, and then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, we're in, by the way, and then oh my God, we need to finish, you know, and so our schedule was just truncated, and we worked so fast, and 24-hour days and weekends, you know, for the last several months. And as we finished the film at 4 a.m. on Saturday a week ago, you know, it's been that manic, you know, so it's been quite the ride, and it's only just now sort of, it's not even concluding, but this has been sort of the craziest high point so far, you know.
When you've got a film that is about the rave scene, obviously the music is probably as much a character as the actors.
Oh, I mean, that was extremely important to me. Like as a DJ, my mantra has always been, I gotta play for the audience. If they're not digging a track, change it up, mix it up, build it up, you know, and bringing your peaks and highs. It's very similar to filmmaking, trying to pace things and stuff. And to pick the kind of music that non-techno people can enjoy, but that all the techno people would like too, is very, very difficult, but striking that balance is really important to me. And I also, I didn't want to just do techno. I wanted to bring drum and bass into it as well, which is sort of my second favorite genre. Though I was never a drum and bass DJ, I've always loved the genre. And so I want to bring my sort of collective experience of being a DJ over the last God knows how many years into this movie, and make sure the balance of taste and audience expectations is perfectly met.
And I would imagine as well you're also working with how that music is setting tone and mood and emotion, really.
Yeah, and also that's the thing, you also need to build the tension of the story. You can't just put in tracks you like, you know, so you need to make sure that, you know, you're starting at a point, you give people something to suture themselves into, and then you build and you build and you build, and it needs to fit what you're doing. And also, if you do it right, the music can also be funny, you know, and so that's what we were trying to do, is like trying to find the tone and the balance, which was the difficult thing in the script development, is finding the right tone for this movie, you know, and then adding the music to that and all that stuff. But the great thing is, as hard as it was to get the music right, it was one of the most fun parts to do in the movie, is picking it.
Making the film, diversity has become very kind of paramount, and we've got very strong leading ladies here. How important was it for you to have those as your protagonists?
Well, for me, I don't really want to. One of the main things that Luke and I really wanted to do is we wanted to present an interesting lead character, you know, and for us, but what we didn't want to do is make a statement. You know, we didn't want to say, oh, by the way, these are gay characters. No, we said, no, they're characters just like all other characters. And they have love stories, and they have this and they have that. And we didn't want to make a movie about gay people or about this or about that. It was just supposed to be a character just like all other characters, and no statements, just fun, you know. And that's basically all we wanted to do.
How exciting to be here, having your UK premiere. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I'm a bit scared and nervous as well, all new to me. So, yeah, no, lovely. Oh my God, I loved it as well. I haven't seen the final touch of it, so it's been amazing.
So tell us a little bit more about Ravers and why it attracted you so much as a project.
So for me, like, I love horror. I love getting scared. It's a weird thing to say, but I do. But I also love, like, the other storyline with Becky, like the OCD, you know, like mental health awareness. I think it's really important. So more of it being a horror movie, that, you know, there's the underlying storyline, which is amazing to break through, and the ending of the film's amazing. So yeah, and then there's the love story. So I love it. Like, for me, it was just so nice to have something, you know, so sweet, so innocent within a horror movie. I'm so grateful.
And setting it in a nightclub, I mean, it seems like a really good venue for mayhem to take place.
Oh my God, it was amazing, literally. Everyone's like, have you been to a rave? I was like, no, this is my first one. And it was all a set. It was amazing. It was such a different experience in my life that I've never had. But yeah, it was incredible. I learned so much, and it's amazing what you can do with, like, prosthetics and things. Oh, amazing, love it.
I mean, you touched upon it anyway. The great thing with horror as well is that it can go and touch into social commentary and take us audiences to places that may not normally get discussed.
No, exactly, and that's the thing. I think everyone expects horror. They think, oh, like, you know, guts and gore, you know, and it doesn't have to only just be that. There is, with the film, there's a storyline, and that's great. What was working with Luke and working with Bernhard, like, it's amazing. Like, also at the same time when we had, like, we'd, like, discuss characters and things like that, like, it was great to, like, establish our characters, establish the storylines. Like, there's so many, and there's, like, there's comedy in it as well, you know, you can hear the laughter. Oh my God, Danny is great as well, you know, Kamal, I hadn't seen his ending, like, I loved it. Like, it was great to see all of our characters. We all got to know each other, but there's a lot of scenes that we're not in together, so it was nice. Yeah, it was nice to have different.
Nice ensemble.
Yeah, we all get along, and, like, obviously the guy Kamal and Maria are in America, so it's nice to have them flown out, just spend time with them. I love it. I'm so grateful.
I flew in this morning at like 7:30. I had about 30 minutes to get 2 days of airplane smell off me, and I'm excited. I'm fresh. I'm clean. I just saw the film. It actually was good.
Well, that's good.
Good. Yeah.
You never know as an actor once you've done your part what it's going to end up like.
God, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
What was it about the script that attracted you when you first read it?
Oh, you know what? I always, first of all, I look at my character's arc. Before I even look at the full concept of it, I just want to make sure that the lines that I'm saying and the character that I'm playing is something that appeals to me. So right off the top, when they sent me the script about a guy who's pushing party drugs, I was like a little turned off. But then I read some of the lines and some of the charisma and then his backstory in the movie, and I said, okay, now let me read the rest of the script. And it takes place in a rave party where all type of catastrophe ensues. You know what I mean? There's the slasher effect, there's the blood, all that. I said, I got to do it. It's my first time doing a horror film, and now that's all I want to do is horror films, you know?
It's interesting because the horror genre really does have this kind of loyal following and a sense of community, doesn't it?
Of course. I mean, for many of us, that's the first film that we really were grabbed by. I mean, there's always the tear jerkers when you're young, but you remember the horror films when you're a kid. Those are the way they scared you, the people you rooted for, like the characters you rooted for, and the concepts. You know, the stuff that made you miss sleep at night. And so, I mean, I can understand why it's the most loyal, you know, genre of films.
And I would imagine that you are actually shooting in a nightclub as well. So or was that a set?
It was definitely a set. It was definitely a set. But yeah, but we made it look real, yeah. I didn't do anything about it, but yeah.
And it feels very much like an ensemble piece. Was that the case? Is that how you felt?
Totally an ensemble piece. I have a theater background in Chicago, Illinois, and so that was another thing that attracted me to it is my characters fit in like the way that we meshed with the rest of the storyline. Everybody was needed. Every character was necessary. There was no character that was just here for the comedy or one character that was just here to be the heroine. Everybody was essential to the story.
So tell us what attracted you to the script first of all when you read it.
The script. I didn't get the script until after I'd auditioned for it. That was a funny story.
Do share.
Yes, I auditioned for the part. I self-taped for it, and then my agent was like, "Oh, the director wants to Skype with you." And I talked with Bernhard, and he was lovely. And he's like, "What did you think about, you know, what happens to Jen?" And I was like, "What happens? What do you mean? What happens to Jen?" And he's like, she ... Don't want to give it away. And I was like, oh, so Then my agents were like, oh, here's the script. We somehow accidentally fumbled and didn't get the script. I was like, well, I screwed that up. So I read the script anyway because I was like, it sounds like an amazing project, but I'm probably not going to get it, but I'm going to read the script anyway. And then 3 weeks later, they were like, you got Jen. So
What was it about her that attracted you?
I just love that she's like an undercover badass. I just love playing like these badass roles, and she's kind of inconspicuous. She sneaks in as like an undercover like cop / raver, and then she's actually a cop and she tries to save the day, and she's just humble. She's not like this like typical cop. So I don't know, she was just humble, and I just loved the role.
And then setting it in this horror film in a rave setting sounds a really good sort of location for a horror, doesn't it? Anything could go wrong.
I think it's the perfect setting for a rave, like a abandoned warehouse / an energy drink that's gone bad, gone wrong, ravers, drugs, undercover cops, drug dealers, scientists like Ozzy, Becky, who's like completely out of her, comfort zone. It's like a recipe for disaster. It's perfect.
Is it interesting as well, kind of going on this kind of discovery of the kind of club subculture, clubbing subculture?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like the rave culture is so different in, the UK and in Australia where I grew up, and especially like considering where you grow up, what time, you grow up, like American raves are different. Like San Francisco is, I've been to raves there, I've been to raves in Australia, I've been to raves in the UK. It's all so different, and it's just interesting. I think this portrayed the rave culture quite well.
And have you enjoyed being a part now of the horror genre?
I've done a couple of horror films before this, so I am not new to the horror genre, but I love it, and I seem to keep getting it, so I love it. I'm a bit of a scaredy cat. I don't watch a lot of horror films myself. I wish I could, but I limit them because I'm a scaredy cat. But this was just such a fun horror to film / watch. Like everyone was laughing, and there were moments that I didn't know about where I was like, oh my god. Even on set there were times where me and Georgia were like screaming, filming the scenes because it was quite scary.
I'm 7'2".
7'2", my god, that is amazing. And so tell us about the film and what it was that attracted you to it.
Yeah, so I played in the movie Ravers. It's a horror movie, and they needed a big giant to be really scary. So they called me, I read the script, I was amazed about the things that I was going to do. I want to be this character and completely destroy everyone. And it happened. I just watched the movie for the first time, and I'm really pleased with what I've seen. So to be honest, I'm a Dutch actor, I've done a lot of Holland, and this is my first international movie. So it was really exciting for me as well to be the first time to see me on screen and to see how it all went, because it's been 2 weeks of filming, and I would really advise people to see Ravers.
Fantastic. And what was it about your character that you liked when you read the script?
The nice thing is that you see he's big, but he's very friendly in the beginning, but he has a point that he turns around. So I had to play two characters, a friendly giant, but then go to the horror scene. So I like to play both parts in one movie. So that was very exciting for me to perform.
I would imagine then, would you have to go through a whole backstory to explore really why your character turns out the way that he does, which makes it interesting?
Exactly, yeah. So the good thing is that I'm not put in a movie as just like, oh, it's a giant, he's going to kill people or whatever. I get a little bit of backstory, like why does he turn the way out he's going to be. So I really appreciate that they asked me for this movie and that I got chosen to play this part.
And you, may I say, look a very physical gentleman. You clearly work out, so I would imagine that part of your role as well would be physical. And what was that like doing the stunts, and how did you prepare?
Yeah, so they didn't only want a giant being 7'2", but they wanted somebody looking strong, meaning that if they were doing stunts and throw people around, it would be more believable. Because if a skinny guy throws people around, yeah, that wouldn't work. So that was pretty cool that we could do some really crazy stunts, because I not only tall but I do train, so it makes it believable.
I imagine you worked very closely with Bernhard to get the choreography of that, really.
Yeah, so I had help from Peter Bedrero as a stunt coordinator. We trained for 2 days, so I actually don't really kill people on the set. So this was the first time I learned how all the tricks work with the cables and that everything was safe. Actually, people did get hurt. Thank God, not my fault, but yeah, even the simplest stunts can go wrong very quickly.
And you're also having to hit your mark as well. You know, obviously film acting is very technical, so you have to be in the right place at the right time, and so that the camera captures what they desire, really.
Yeah, so one of the scenes is like 2 minutes straight of filming, so it's a whole choreography, and everything has to be on point, because if I hit someone too high or too low, I'm in his face, I'm not seeing him, so I really had to practice a lot for that, you're right.
And what have you taken away with you from making the film? What have you taken away with you? A nice lasting memory?
The best thing for me for this movie is that in Holland we say the ball keeps rolling. So from this part I already got other offers and things are coming together, and that's the great thing. My scene is not only pretty awesome, if I may say so, but I can use it now to explore more in the film, and I can show people what I can do. So that's always going to stick with me. It's my first film, and it will always be with me. Yeah.
The whole kind of like the sort of the horror mixed with the comedy, and it's just sort of you don't really know where you are throughout the film, and then it was brilliant. It's the whole sort of Ravers as well, and it's just the whole sort of constant sort of impact. I loved it. It was brilliant. It was a great script.
And what was it about your character that you liked?
Seb is an interesting guy. He sort of inadvertently becomes the guy who screws everything up. He without giving too much away. I mean, he's got a good heart. He likes what he's doing. He's trying to organise a party, and that's his intentions. And then sort of inadvertently, everything screws up around him. And I like the kind of the road to hell is paved with good intentions, I think is a good quote for him.
And when you're setting the film in a nightclub warehouse kind of environment, I imagine it's all, you're in kind of one location really, yeah. And I imagine with what goes on, there's probably a certain amount of action required, and I just wondered about the safety element of when you're working on set with the sort of stunt coordinator.
Oh no, the stunt team were brilliant. We had a fantastic stunt team on board. I mean, myself personally, I didn't have too much involved with that because I was more sort of character interaction. I don't get my hands too dirty per se. But there was it wasn't too bad. There was a few moments like people being set on fire and other interesting things like that. But we're all well looked after.
This film is very much an ensemble piece. Was that nice being a part of that ensemble?
Oh, it was fantastic. It's a fantastic team. Bernhard did a fantastic job getting us all together. I mean, Maria, Georgia, Kamal, everyone involved. We became such a family on set, and it's so nice when you have jobs like this that everybody gets on so well. And Manny, of course, and Danny. Oh, it was a great family to be a part of. And if I could ever work with them ever again, I'd love to. I'd jump at the chance.
I think as well, it's very much. When you're working on a low-budget independent film, everybody's just mucking in, aren't they? And they're invested in the project because they love it.
Oh yeah, of course. It's all about the love for the film, and we all had a great time. I remember there was a table tennis table on set, and we had a little table tennis championship going on as well. So it was such a good family feeling. Everyone was mucking in, and obviously when everyone's so focused on getting the end goal, it works, and I think it worked, and I'm happy with the way it turned out.